And single shines the triple sun. What was sundered and undone shall be whole, the two make one. By Gelfling hand, or else by none. By Gelfling hand? Do you know what that means, Kira?
Wait. This is a piece of the dark crystal.
Then that's what my master meant.
Yes.
Peace, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Now the vibe break. Want to come forward with basically just some, you could say some questions to help assess our spiritual practice. You know what I'm saying? With all of this information overload that's going on, like, you know, hey, you should be a part of this spiritual information. You should be a part of the Hindu information, or a part of the Kemetic information, or the Hebrew. You're a Hebrew. You, indigenous American, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different things from that perspective to, you know, like, oh, you know, read books only by black people, read books only by white people, all, you know, just all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, there's a few questions you could ask yourself just in general that can just bring forth, you know, awareness of your spiritual practice, you know what I'm saying? In the sense of, is it really helping or harming? So in essence, you know, the spiritual assessment or spiritual practice assessment is to assess whether your spiritual practices are helpful or harmful, you know what I'm saying, to yourself and others. And first aspect is this insight and spiritual practice bringing forth positive changes in my life. Like, so the spiritual insight, you know, the information that you're coming across, when you receive that information, is that information helping you to make positive changes in your life? You know what I'm saying? We say positive because everything is about a balance. It ain't just about positivity. But again, y'all know the nature of the English language, you know what I'm saying? So when we say positive changes, like healthy changes, you know what I'm saying? So again, is this insight, spiritual insight, bringing forth some type of healthy changes in my life? You know, and again, you sit with yourself, you know what I'm saying, assess the things that, you know, the insight that comes to you, you know, and ask yourself, like, all right, am I, you know, seeing changes, healthy changes from this? And again, because that's why it's not just about positivity, because again, certain insight may cause you to have to go through, say, for instance, a dark night of the soul, you know what I'm saying? But that dark night of the soul, at the end of the day, on a long-term level, is actually something healthy. Like, you know, it's healthy to have to, you know, face our shadow, you know what I'm saying? It's healthy to go through that dark night of the soul. So although that dark night of the soul energy or that facing the shadow energy may feel uncomfortable, you know, and very intense or overwhelming in some cases, you know, the end product is something that is highly beneficial and healthy for you, again, astrally, physically, you know, etherically, you know, on all levels. And again, same thing with the spiritual practice. Like, is your spiritual practice bringing forth positive changes in your life? And also being aware of how to allocate, you know, your spiritual practice or spiritual insight. Because, you know, it's certain, or more so the practices, you know, like, again, meditation is a healthy practice. But if I'm doing it in a moment when I should be doing something else, you know what I'm saying, then it becomes unhealthy. Or, you know, reading a self-help book. You know, reading a self-help book is very helpful. But if I should be journaling and doing some inner child work, then, you know, I need to put that book down. So, you know, again, just being aware of also that everything has its, you know, its place in its moment, you know what I'm saying? Again, now moment intelligence, you know, there's certain things that's best for the moment, and then come another moment is actually detrimental, you know what I'm saying? That one same thing could be just as detrimental as it is helpful, just depending on how it's used, you know what I'm saying? Another aspect to assess or bring up is my spiritual practice helping me to be a better being to myself, and on all levels. So is my spiritual practice helping me to be a better being to my inner child? Is it helping me be a better being to my divine masculine energy? Is it helping me be a better being to my inner divine feminine energy? You know what I'm saying? And basically just all dimensions of your being and others. So not only is, you know, how is my spiritual practice helping, you know, the whole aspect of myself. So not only just parts of me, but how is my spiritual practice helping, again, my inner child, divine masculine and divine feminine within, and then also, again, that trickles into, making sure that whatever my spiritual practice is beneficial, to my loved ones, like the people I love, what I'm saying, and want to help is benefiting, from my spiritual practices, what I'm saying, compared to having a spiritual practices that may cause some, like where your spiritual practice is actually harming your relationships, in some way. And now you got to be aware, of course, that doesn't mean to stop your spiritual practices if a person who's toxic, feels, like they just saying, oh, your spiritual practices ain't shit or this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like again, like long as your spiritual practices is not doing no deliberate harm to nobody, invisible harm, compared to like somebody, on some toxic shit trying to say that, whatever it is you're doing is harming them when all truth it is not, what I'm saying? So being aware of that type of energy, what I'm saying? But again, making sure it's beneficial for the wholeness of your being and those around you, just simply put. Next aspect is my spiritual practice helping me to be clear-minded? Is my spiritual practice helping me to face my fears? And is my spiritual practices importantly helping me to know myself to the fullest? So is my spiritual practices helping me to be clear-minded? Is my spiritual practices helping me to face my fears? And is my spiritual practices helping me to know myself to the fullest? You know what I'm saying? So those are, important factors, what I'm saying? Because again, in order to, operate, more smoothly, we need to be more clear-minded, what I'm saying? And in essence, most things that, we're here to tap into on a soul purpose level, is going to have some fears we have to face. So is my spiritual practices creating, is my spiritual practice generating courage within me? Is my spiritual practices boosting my confidence and courageousness to face my shadow aspects, or to, do work on a project that once was something that was scary to me, but now I have the courage to do so, what I'm saying? So is your spiritual practices, promoting some form of like courage, what I'm saying, to face fears, as well. And again, also is this promoting to know yourself to the fullest and clear your mind. Now this one could have been first, what I'm saying, and very obvious due to, now it's a vibrate, is my spiritual practice helping me to be present? You know what I'm saying? Like, just simple. Like, is your spiritual practices making you, overthink things? Because then that's just creating toxicity, you know what I'm saying? Because again, like, even with researching esoteric information, sometimes, we're researching esoteric information, we could like overload our mind or be too much in our minds about it, which could become toxic. So although it's esoteric spiritual information, you could go about learning it in a very toxic manner, you know what I'm saying? So, you want to be aware, you know what I'm saying, of, again, like having that presence. Is your spiritual practices or spiritual insight creating, presence in the moment, like helping you to value your now moment, instead of ruminating on the past or treating every moment like a means to an end to try to get to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's like valuing your now moment, you know what I'm saying, to the fullest. Another aspect, is it helping me and others to become more whole and harmonized? Or is it helping, or is it promoting division and delusion? So is my spiritual practices helping me, more so just me, is my spiritual practice helping me to be more whole and harmonized? Or is it promoting me to be more divided and more into delusion? You know what I'm saying? So that's also an important factor or question to ask yourself. Now, this is a perspective somewhere with the spiritual practice and just in general, when we think about, ancestral lineage and, our experiences within this earthly plane, and releasing, spiritual debts, debt DBTS, you know what I'm saying? But basically, generating or creating wealth for ourselves. So basically, are my actions right now creating wealth or debt for me in this lifetime? You know what I'm saying? That's something to be aware of. You know what I'm saying? Like, is your spiritual action, are your actions in general, you know what I'm saying, creating wealth or debt in this lifetime? You know what I'm saying? And that's, again, like awareness of yourself and your spiritual practices, you know what I'm saying, also aligns with the type of actions you take. But again, I felt the need to fit that in there. So although it doesn't like fit exactly like how the other questions do, you know, uh, it's still something to be aware of, because like, so say for instance, I guess I brought that up because with the spiritual aspects, you're meant to be abundant in some way, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not meant to force yourself to be poor or just have to live under a bridge, or all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, like, again, like, is your spiritual practices helping you to be wealthy, energetic, and let's just say energetically, whether that turns into, money, Bitcoin, whatever, you know what I'm saying, just energy, you know what I'm saying? So again, are your actions right now creating, wealthy energy, or putting you in the energy of debt, you know what I'm saying, in this lifetime? And just in general, with our spiritual practice, being aware of, what we creation, being aware of what we are creating, you know what I'm saying? Awareness of our creation and our intentions, you know what I'm saying? So again, because, our actions speak louder than our words, and our results are, basically, the output, regardless of what regardless of, like, so making sure that the intentions match. But like, you could have intent on something, but make sure that your actions align with your intent, you know what I'm saying? But again, having that awareness of what our intentions is and what our actions is and what we're actually creating, like what's the actual byproduct, because the actual byproduct of our actions is letting us know what's really going on. Because we could think we hot shit or whatever, but what's the results, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's bottom line. You could be as spiritual as you want to say you are spiritual, but what's the results, you know what I'm saying? Also, what masculine and feminine aspects I'm bringing together to create. All right. So being aware. All right, in the last few questions, all right, it's kind of like a little different from the first ones. But basically, being aware of when you step to every situation of, manifestation, having that awareness of the feminine and masculine factors as you step into it. The feminine, energy is more magnetic, more intuitive, you know what I'm saying? And you draw things to you. So making sure that you're dealing with, like, all right, the feminine aspect, is also emotions and intuition, let's just say, you know what I'm saying? So being aware that the emotions and intuition aspect, our feminine aspect aligns with the masculine aspect, aka, the air element of the thoughts and the words, and the fire element of the action, you know what I'm saying, or the animated spirit in essence with fire, but it's like taking action, so making sure that, that masculine and feminine aspect, again, like the emotions, what I was like, the emotions and something else with connection with water, but and intuition. The emotions and intuition is in alignment with, the thoughts and the actions, or the logic, you know what I'm saying, and the actions, you know what I'm saying. And again, the free flowing aspect of the feminine energy, aligns at the right moment with the, the masculine energy, you know what I'm saying. So you have that right amount of inaction and the right amount of action, in balance, to create, that child or that manifestation, you know what I'm saying? So being aware, again, of how we plant our seeds and having the awareness of the masculine and feminine energies as we move into that seed planting process, you know what I'm saying? And then also, basically knowing and applying, but basically making sure that, we are walking our path and not just reading and talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We could again get to, if you don't pay attention, you could get into a space where, again, like you're just reading books, getting information, but you're not applying it. Like it's almost like just getting insight to be able to regurgitate it to come off as being smart, let's just say, you know what I'm saying? And again, just that lack of application, like where you just knowing something just to know, you got a crystal just to have it, you're not necessarily going in depth, like say for instance using the crystal, like not only you got the information, but you're also applying, the meditation techniques, the visualization techniques, you're applying the techniques of working with crystals, you know what I'm saying, instead of just reading about it, in one example. But, again, on all levels, it's a application, and it's not just believing, but it's knowing. So it's like working, tapping into something and questioning something till you know it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like with facing a fear or, or dealing with projections, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order to see if something is a fear or a projection or not, you got to test it and you got to actually face it, Like, for example, you might, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's just keep it simple, you know what I'm saying? You fear opening a certain door, you know what I'm saying? But, there's no evidence to say that fear you have about opening that door is true, you know what I'm saying? But you won't know for sure. Like, again, so say for instance, you feel that something is behind that door, like something is like, something is strange behind that door, you know what I'm saying? You sense that energy, that something is strange behind that door, but then you don't go check to see, you don't fact check it, and then go tell others, hey man, there's something strange behind that door. How you know you didn't even face the fear to see, you know what I'm saying? So again, like, you just believe, I'm trying to use an example, but you just believe that something is strange behind that door, but you don't actually know what's behind it, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't actually open the door, you know what I'm saying, to really know for sure, what was behind the door, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's not just, belief, it's actually, finding some form of knowing. Or again, you could also get inner knowing from intuition as well, and that creates, an area of like, well, what if I'm clear cognizant and I receive insight? Whereas like basically, it comes to me with like just a strong knowing, like, like, hey, this is real, you know what I'm saying? I guess like example would be of like, I always use the example of me growing up and as a child, realizing in some way, form or fashion, starting to feel like AIDS and cancer was fake, and say fake for lack of a better word, but I was like, or just how it was like, the perspective of what it was coming from for me in those moments was like, it's like, it seems like the people with AIDS and cancer, like most of them don't quote unquote die or have problems with it till they get the news that they quote unquote have it. And because that stigma of like, oh, this is uncurable, is attached to that, once a person is told that, oh, you got HIV, then it's like literally it's like a subconscious program of like, oh, I got the disease that's uncurable. So, that automatically is going, if you're not aware of keeping a healthy mental, that's automatically you're gonna be pessimistic and like, oh well, fuck, I probably ain't got that long to live. Like you're gonna start creating a narrative of, killing yourself in essence. You know what I'm saying, with your mind. And the fact that the mind does affect matter, and it's proven scientifically, whether it's a double slit experiment, you know what I'm saying. But again, all that for a circle, just to simply say, making sure that you're knowing what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you done assessed it, with your inner gnosis, book gnosis, meditations, like, all forms, and you done tested the theory, for yourself in essence, you know what I'm saying? Because again, like, I can't say mushrooms or psychedelics was good or bad or, or whatever. And again, because there's no absolutes, but I couldn't speak on the experience of psychedelics till I actually took them. Now again, I could, read a book and tell y'all like everything from a book about psilocybin and how it works and stuff like that, but that's coming from more so a belief and not necessarily knowing. So again, just making sure, we fully digest our insight to a space and move into a space of knowing more than just, well, I guess, or I believe, you know what I'm saying? And also making sure that we are applying and not just, listening and regurgitating, or just listening and not applying what it is that we're learning, you know what I'm saying? But that's basically it. Again, just a few, you could say, questions or things to be aware of to assess our spiritual practices and see if our spiritual practices is truly beneficial for us, you know what I'm saying? Because again, like, it don't matter what, what culture it comes from, or, wherever it comes from, if these certain things align, then, you're on point, you know what I'm saying? No matter if the name is, whether we say I don't name spirits, whether you say the spirit name is Obatala or Shun, or whether you say it's, you connecting with Ampu, Anubis, whether you just connecting with nature as just flat out nature, whatever, as long as, again, like these questions and things I brought up, as long as those questions being answered, then it doesn't matter like what name or culture is attached to it. It just matters about the results. Like, again, so the spiritual practice assessment, is to assess your spiritual practice to see if it's bringing forth, the type of results that are helping you to be whole again. You know what I'm saying? So peace. Y'all know what it is. Now to vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past, right now.